Welcome back to Self-Care Junkies. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of personality traits. You know, those unique quirks and characteristics that make you, you. Ever wondered if you have a rare personality? Well, stay tuned because we're about to reveal 8 signs that you might be one of the rarest personalities out there. We're gonna dive deep, folks, and really examine what makes these personalities tick. Are you ready to get real with yourselves? Let's get started. Now let's talk about thinking. Rare personalities don't just think differently, they think the box. They see the world through a different lens, questioning everything, challenging the status quo. They're not afraid to go against the grain, to be the lone wolf howling at a different moon. These folks see solutions where others see problems. They connect dots that others don't even notice. This isn't about being smarter, folks. It's about having a unique perspective. Think about it. Einstein, Marie Curie, Steve Jobs. These were people who dared to think differently, and they changed the world. Now, I'm not saying you're going to discover the theory of relativity, but you might just surprise yourself with the insights you uncover when you embrace your unique way of thinking. Don't be afraid to challenge the norm, to question everything. So, ask yourself, are you a conformist or a trailblazer? Because, let me tell you, the world needs more people who aren't afraid to think differently. Now, let's talk about empathy. And I don't mean just understanding someone's point of view, I mean really what they're feeling. Rare personalities have this incredible ability to connect with others on a deeper level. They don't just sympathize, they empathize. They feel the joy and the pain of others as if it were their own. These are the folks who can walk into a room and instantly pick up on the energy. They can sense when someone's hurting, even if that person is putting on a brave face. They are drawn to helping others, to making a difference in the world. But here's the catch: feeling things so deeply can be both a blessing and a curse. It means experiencing the world in high definition, feeling everything with more intensity. This can be overwhelming, exhausting even. But it also allows for a depth of connection and understanding that most people never experience. So ask yourself, are you someone who feels deeply? Do you find yourself easily moved by the emotions of others? If so, you might just have this rare and powerful trait. Let's talk about creativity, folks. Rare personalities aren't just creative, they're overflowing with it. They see possibilities where others see limitations. They're constantly coming up with new ideas, new ways of doing things. This creativity isn't limited to art or music, though those are certainly common outlets. It can manifest in any area of life, from the way they dress to the way they approach a problem at work. These individuals have a natural curiosity, a thirst for knowledge and experience that fuels their creativity. They're not afraid to experiment, to try new things and see what happens. Now, creativity isn't about being perfect, it's about being authentic. So ask yourself, do you have a creative spark? Do you find yourself drawn to new experiences, new ways of expressing yourself? You never know what amazing things you might create. Trusting your gut, the power of intuition. Now let's talk about intuition, that gut feeling that tells you something is right or wrong, even if you can't explain why. Rare personalities often have a highly developed sense of intuition. They trust their gut, even when it goes against logic or reason. They understand that sometimes the best decisions are made not through careful analysis, but through that deep inner knowing. This isn't about being impulsive, folks. It's about being in tune with yourself, with your inner compass. It's about recognizing the subtle cues and signals that others might miss. Rare personalities often have a strong connection to their subconscious mind, which is where intuition often bubbles up from. They're more likely to pay attention to their dreams, their hunches, those fleeting thoughts that come and go. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore logic altogether, but don't underestimate the power of your intuition. It's a powerful tool, one that can guide you towards making decisions that are in alignment with your true self. Beyond small talk, the allure of meaningful conversations. Let's be honest, folks, small talk can be exhausting. Rare personalities get that. They crave depth, they crave substance in their interactions. They'd rather have one deep conversation than a dozen superficial ones. They're not interested in talking about the weather or the latest gossip. They want to talk about the things that really matter: life, death, love, the universe. They're fascinated by the human experience, by what makes people tick. These are the folks who will stay up all night talking about philosophy, psychology, the meaning of life. They're not afraid to get vulnerable, to share their deepest thoughts and feelings. They understand that true connection comes from authenticity, from being your true self, even the messy parts. Life throws curveballs, folks, that's just a fact. But rare personalities have this uncanny ability to stay calm under pressure. They don't crumble in the face of adversity, they rise to the occasion. They possess an inner strength, a resilience that allows them to weather the storms. They understand that panicking won't solve anything, so they take a deep breath, assess the situation, and come up with a plan. Now, this doesn't mean they're emotionless robots. They feel things just as deeply as anyone else. But they've learned to manage their emotions, to not let their feelings control them. They have a sense of perspective, an understanding that this too shall pass. They focus on what they can control, and they let go of the rest. Now let's talk about self-awareness. Rare personalities are constantly reflecting on themselves, on their thoughts, their feelings, their actions. They're not afraid to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask themselves the tough questions. They understand that true growth comes from understanding yourself, from acknowledging both your strengths and your weaknesses. They're lifelong learners, always seeking to improve themselves, to become the best versions of themselves. They're not afraid to ask for help when they need it. They understand that nobody's perfect. They're open to feedback, even if it's not always easy to hear. Now, self-awareness isn't about being self-critical. It's about being honest with yourself. It's about understanding your motivations, your triggers, your patterns of behavior. Now let's talk about independence. Rare personalities have a strong sense of self. They're not afraid to stand out from the crowd, to march to the beat of their own drum. They don't need external validation. They find their own way. They're not afraid to be alone. In fact, they often cherish their solitude. They're comfortable in their own skin. They don't need to conform to fit in. They're not afraid to challenge the status quo, to go against the grain. This doesn't mean they're loners. They're perfectly capable of having deep, meaningful relationships. But they need their space, their freedom to be themselves. They're not afraid to pursue their passions, even if those passions are unconventional. So, there you have it, folks. 8 signs you might just have a rare personality. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content. Let us know in the comments if you recognize any of these signs in yourself or someone you know. And remember, the world needs your unique perspective, so don't be afraid to shine your light. See you next time.